Hello there, folks. Welcome back to Glory Hunter with me, DoctorBenjyFM. We're still in grayscale, but hopefully you're going to enjoy this. So the season is over and RB Leipzig have been crowned champions of the Bundesliga. Ourselves then finishing fifth. And what an interesting season for Borussia Dortmund. We'll all remember when I came in after leaving Inter Milan, November was the time period. It's been a very interesting comeback for Dortmund in the league. Our first game, you'll remember, was Bayern Munich at the very start of things. And that really set the tone. It was a really impressive end of the season, really. You look at the fixtures there, the results there, far more green than red. Not many draws in there, only a couple of draws. We started with one, but 3 in total. And I think you've got to say we've done really, really well when you take everything into account. If we play like this next season, we'll be in the title hunt, the title race. I'm sure of it. And with Bayern not winning the league this season, there might be a few players at Bayern thinking they might have to move on. But then let's focus on this league performance. Fifth gives us Europa League, which next season is just what we wanted, really. And you'd expect Borussia Dortmund, with the size of the sort of club they are, that we will be one of the favourites for that competition if we could bring in some good reinforcements back in Europe as well. So the clientele will be able to attract, will hopefully improve too. So that should be exciting. Currently, sixth place Schalke are only in the Euro Cup 2 because the cup final, the German Cup final, is still to be decided. Leipzig are in that final though, so if they win that, it will go down to Cologne and Schalke will get Europa League, I imagine. They're playing Eintracht Frankfurt in that one, so if they win that, of course Schalke left in EC2, which I had no idea would be the case, viewers. So a little bit relieved that we finished fifth and guaranteed our spot in the group stages of the Europa League. No qualification or anything like that for us, so really, really pleased. If we take a look then at the news that has come in the last few days, £58 million for finishing fifth. That is an awful lot of money. Balance-wise, it lifts it up a lot. 75 million was the budget over January that we didn't end up spending, saving it really for this period of time. We'll just see how much they give us. We'll hopefully find out today, actually. And then the season awards then. Of course, we weren't here for the whole season, but the things on this list suggest that we did good. Julian Brandt, player of the season. Divock Origi with goal of the season. Ali Kamara, signing of the season. £10 million from Young Boys. I really do think that was a really fantastic bit of business. Really solid defender. A player that I may well try and take with me, maybe as a squad player at other teams. But yeah, really solid Ali Kamara. Shame he missed the last couple of games at the end of the season. Rasmus Nissan Christiansen, 24 years of age. Still gets young player. Seems unfair to me. Should be someone under 21. But impressive. And the season in review then, you can see, look, disappointing in terms of Dortmund. You don't want Dortmund finishing fifth, but again, when you look at what happened throughout this season, it really is quite impressive. I'm quite proud of this, really. I know Inter have done well, but to come into Dortmund at a time when they were struggling, they spent, that was 15th at one point, just outside those relegation places, and we started things off with that, that draw with Bayern Munich there, and then built their way up all the way into fifth position. I saw the potential in this team, early doors as well. I could see that they were far better than the results were showing. And so it's really nice to prove it, and hopefully some of these here, goals, average ratings, assists, we will be in there come next season. Clean sheets though, Livakovic, what a season for him. Absolutely sensational. Second half of the season, phenomenal. So many clean sheets. I think that final episode we had there, we had one against Stuttgart. Previous to that though, Hamburger, Schalke, there was one. Hanover had 1, 2, 3 in a row against Hertha Berlin, Frankfurt, and Mönchengladbach. Yeah, a whole host of clean sheets for him. Really a solid performance. And the back line have been really, really good. Moving forward then, let's see. The first time reading this then. The board want to discuss the long-term vision for the club. Right, let's discuss it. So the club culture, play attacking football, develop players in the youth system. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Play entertaining football, sign players under the age of 23 for the first team. Don't sign players over 30. Can't promise anything. And sign German players as well, if possible. We'll certainly try if available. So next season then, end of next season, qualify for the Champions League, Euro Cup semi-finals of a minimum. So they really want to be in the contention for that trophy next season, as do I. It's good that myself and the board are on the same page. We see it as a high level of importance, so I'll do my best to win it. That might at times mean prioritising that over the league. So we'll have to wait and see how that plans out next season. Let's take a look then. I will accept the current vision. Definitely was something that we want to have, and then win the Bundesliga the year after. Of course, something we're aiming for in this Glory Hunter challenge. So just your atmosphere right now. Squad dynamics, really, really good. Everyone, generally speaking, pleased with how things have gone. A few players want to leave or want new contracts. And again, something we can deal with in the off-season. But all in all, looking pretty good. In terms of these team leaders, though, it's interesting with the dynamics, actually, if we look at the hierarchy here. Mats Hummels, Marco Reus. Marco Reus wants to leave. Witsel is probably the only one that will certainly be here next season, but they're all getting on a little bit. There's an old sort of guard here at Dortmund that at some point will have to be moved on, whether it be this season or next. Someone else, Thomas Delaney, just moved into a 30-year of age period, will leave at the end of the season. I'm not going to offer him a new contract. Very good player, I just think there's options there to bring in better, especially physically. Like when we play quite a physical game, I don't necessarily think he's up to it. Don't get me wrong, mentals, technicals, absolutely fantastic. But in those two midfield spots, like you saw at the end of the season, I was playing Mazzalas. I want players that are prepared to get into the box, help Belotti and Alcacer forward. And I'm not sure Thomas Delaney is that guy anymore. Don't get me wrong, fantastic stamina, great natural fitness, but that pace, acceleration, that burst of energy, I don't necessarily think he's got it anymore. And 83 grand a week, if we can get that off the wage bill, get someone younger in, I think it's probably worth doing. Moving forward then, let's see what else is here for us. End of season team meeting. We'll discuss the plans for next season. There are a lot of options. We'll say it passionately, no matter what it is, and hopefully my German has improved over time. Danny Graham, by the way, fluent in German now. Love that. Let's see here then. Let's have a look. I wanted to take a few moments over the off-season. We'll be looking, to mention that, over the off-season we'll be looking to bring in some new faces into the squad that fit in with the club objectives. Competition for places will be tougher as a result. I'm not going to say that. That's a bit harsh. I'm going to say I'm really encouraged by the way you've taken our attempt to implement our style, and I think we can take it a step further and come back when we come out for pre-season training. It's quite general. They hate it. Brilliant. I'm not sure we're nearly as accomplished in this style as we should be, so that's surprising to hear. I will apologise and leave. Not gone brilliantly there, viewers. Going to be completely nice. Not gone brilliantly. Of course, a couple of players, Shaqiri and... hang on. Stop a moment. I was about to mention the players that will leave after their loan deals. I don't think Origi or Shaqiri will be returning next season, basically, or Valverde as well. Back to Real Madrid. I don't think we'll see him in a Dortmund shirt again for me next season. But here we are. Initial budgets. This is big. Here we go then. What have we got? 82 million. That's a fair whack of money to do things with. And of course, there's going to be teams interested. We're not in the Champions League. Some of these players are going to want to be there. So we might have a little bit of interest. You look at the value of some of our players. Alcacer might have a bit of interest. Chalov might be someone I look to let go. Belotti coming in. High value player. If you can move him out and improve the rest of the squad, I think we might look to do that. But yeah, there's some exciting times for this team. Dominic, I don't really want to let him go. Young player, very, very talented. I will learn, by the next season, viewers, I'll learn to say this surname. And he will no longer be Dominic. He will evolve, viewers. Don't worry. Especially my Hungarian viewers that are very passionate about it. Just going to request to improve the facilities here. Can you improve the facilities? No, they're not good enough. They're really important. No. They're very important. Even though he's noticed. Hans-Joachim Wazik, as noticed. Wazik? Loads of options there, Ben. Now, I said I would touch upon some of the youngsters. You can see here a strong squad for the under-19s, and some of these boys coming through, especially in terms of potential, are very, very good. Patrick Hellwig looks like, with a little bit more time, 16 at the moment, could be a real star. Whether we'll get to see the best of him while at Dortmund, I don't know just yet, but it looks really, really good. And he's not the only one. Rafael Fana, we talked about before, not sure he's going to be a striker, but again, another player that is developing really nicely at the moment. Michael Akshetter, so that sounded offensive, Ben. Also a very good prospect here at Dortmund. And yeah, as I mentioned as well, Dortmund 2 got a couple of players here that could be stars next season. Matthew Lister, might be time to move him into the backup goalkeeper role, so expect to maybe see him in around the first team next year. Sebastian Sus as well. 16 might get a loan spell, but I do think even at this early stage, getting into the first team might improve him tenfold, even at that young age. Those physicals, very, very impressive. If you can improve his technicals quickly, get his mentals on the rise, could be a very good defender. So there's certainly some potential in our team, so it'll be exciting to see how they can maybe be integrated at some point through next season. And of course, we'll be looking to bring in young German players for the first team as well. It's what the board want. I would love to do it as well. I think it's a really nice identity for the club to have. We didn't really get the chance to do it at Inter, so to be able to do it at Dortmund, especially in our position we're in, I think there's a chance that could happen. So all in all then, looking at the season as it went down, Julian Brandt, top goal scorer with 16. Alcacer just behind with 15. Brun Larsen with 9. Chalov contributed as well. As did Marco Reus actually, 5 goals, 3 assists. Speaking of assists, Brun Larsen tops that table. We need all of these numbers to rise though, we really do. Average rating wise, you can see last 5 games, very, very impressive. Nissen Christiansen topping it. And over the course of the season, Shaqiri didn't play too much, so we'll avoid that. But Brandt, Alcacer, Witsel, Guerrero, top performers, as was Ali Kamara when he came in as well. Really good performance from him. Goals over 90 minutes. Again, avoid Goetze and Origi over the course of the year. Alcacer up there, as is Julian Brandt. But again, we need all these numbers to rise moving forward to next year. I want to try and win. Look, I know I've mentioned the Europa League. I want to try and win the league next year. You look at the way the Bundesliga ended, viewers, and you take a look at the actual league table rather than the playoff. We are just 7 points off the top. I think any team finishing 7 points behind the team that wins it, there is a chance for us there to get something. 11 games lost last season. Not too many of them were under me. Leipzig, top of the table, 8 defeats. Like, that won't happen next season. It's going to be tougher, it's going to be tighter, but there's a chance for us there to go at it and win something. It should say Leipzig. I guess the season hasn't technically finished yet. That's probably why. But, yeah, look, we've got to be in the hunt for it next season. 5th place is good, but we're capable of so much more. And of course, we already know Andrea Bellotti will be coming in to the club, as will, I think I've mentioned this before, but Danny Olmo, yeah, I have definitely, has signed as well. So 2 players already nailed on to sign next year, and it'll make us so much stronger, as is this fellow as well. Wasn't anything to do with me. And people will wonder, it's nothing to do with me. We'll probably be part of the Dortmund 2. I can only assume that. But man, Bellotti is going to make us a real force next year. I can feel it. 14 goals for him last season. Not the highest average rating, but I think in a system such as ours, we could see the best of Andrea Bellotti. So that'll be exciting. Before we go, viewers, and there's a few other things I want to talk about, but I do want to take a closer look at just how well Inter did. People will want to see Inzaghi, so this is me showing you Inzaghi. But team-wise then, champions by a distance. There's still a game to go actually for them, so it's not quite done over there just yet. In terms of average rating, who stepped up then? SMS did pretty well. Aguero, 19 goals for him. What a season, by the way. I knew I'd sign the best midfielder on the game. Why couldn't he do it for me? Unbelievable season for him. Really, that's disgusting. Looking at the squad depth though across the team, there's a lot of great going on, especially in our core. It's maybe this right side. I do see that's interesting because I quite like Bryn Larsen. It might be a position, though, where we look to bring someone in to rival him for that role. The way in which he plays, cutting inside, either-footed, gets forward when he can. And again, really, it's still quite a good prospect, only 23 years of age, and performed pretty well for me last season. He's certainly someone I want to give a chance to, but it might be a position where if we can bring in someone of real quality, I'm talking like top-notch standard quality, then it's an area in which we'll look to improve. You brought in Shaqiri to help cover him, and again, it's that sort of play, that inside forward, someone who's looking to cut in. Brandt does a fantastic job of it over on the other side. No need to replace him. Like a superstar on the game this year. Really enjoying him. It might be tough to hold on to him. There might be teams interested in a player like Julian Brandt. If I was at a different team, he's certainly a player I would look at. Versatile, can play multiple different positions and play them very well. It's a bit of a worry. Of course, with these guys leaving on loan, there are obviously areas in which we're going to probably have to bring players in, especially that central midfield spot. Valverde's going to be leaving. Of course, we know that Delaney's going to be out as well, so that midfield spot's going to have to bring in. We're going to have to bring in a couple of players to play in this team. Axel Witsel getting on a little bit as well. 33 years of age now. If I sorted it by position, you can see these 3 boys here. If I can do it slightly differently, those 3 boys there, Witsel, Delaney, and Valverde. 2 of them are leaving. One of them's getting a little older and need to refresh that area of the pitch. Of course, we've got Dominic and we've got Para in there, but we need more. So that's definitely an area we need to strengthen. Up front, things are looking pretty good. Alcacer, Bellotti, that's going to be fine. Maybe bringing a German youngster would be a really nice thing to do. Bringing a striker that could potentially challenge those 2 boys. At the back, similar situation to Witsel. Mats Hummels, 33, getting on a little bit. We're going to have to bring someone in. The pace of Hummels in the system that we play is a little bit of an issue. Mentally, sensational. Physically, not so much anymore. So we're going to have to start thinking about that sooner rather than later. And there's a similar story for players like Marco Reus and for Goetze. Goetze, still relatively young, but again, we play a physical game. It'll be sad to lose him. 160 grand though for a player that we're rarely using. Year left on his contract. If I can move him on this year, we might look to do so. With Reus, he wants to leave. I don't really mind if he stays or not, but again, similar situation, 200k a week. Like, if you get some of these heavy hitters off the wage bill, the possibilities it opens up for players coming in could be really exciting. And it means the transfer window is set to be pretty fun. So, of course, we will update you on that tomorrow. Hopefully you enjoyed this little rundown. You enjoyed the season with Dortmund and you're looking forward to next year. We're going to try and challenge for everything. And frankly, I can't wait. Glory Hunter continues then. If you've enjoyed today, do drop a like on it. Thank you for the support of the series. If we can aim for 1,000 likes on this one, please do. Before we go, just curious, leagues in focus. Any teams stumble? Barcelona, 11 points behind the leaders. Tottenham not doing so well. United massively off City. Liverpool as well. PSG win again. Just interesting to have a look around. Zebra again, not doing so well. How did Bologna do this season? I don't think they went down. Oh, there they are, 11th. Okay. So yeah, maybe there'll be the odd job. Oh, that Barcelona job. Maybe one day. All right, I'll see you soon. With love, with care. Goodbye. If tomorrow we're at Barca, that would be a turn up for the books. Oh my. The Bayern job's available.